androgels, and we were at androgels, so we understand that some amount of testosterone or androgen level is needed for follicular maturation. So absence of good amount of adequate androgen levels will actually lead into earlier follicular maturation and also follicular agenesis. So then we conducted this small study of about 50 cases in our center, where we showed a mean number of embryos in the patient using testosterone gel. So how is this actually testosterone gel given? It is given at about 12.5 milligram daily to be applied on the arms or the thighs on a non-hairy part of the body, and it has to be given for at least minimum of 3 weeks. So testosterone gel has shown to improve benefit in few cases, and our study was very small and we could not give a very statistical improvement, but it did show improvement in some cases. There were a lot of studies which have been done on androgel or testosterone gel, and they do say that it does help in poor responders, but none of the studies gave us a direct answer improve the live birth rates. So they would always give us that the number is after testosterone gel administration. In 2016, there came an RCT which combined 4 studies together, and which did do a study on adjuvant androgens in poor responders, but they also gave us only one answer, that they study that there was improvement in the number of oocytes retrieved. So in the Cochrane tells us that DHEA and testosterone could be used with caution in women described as poor responders, but we still need to do more studies to prove their benefit.
No.
So the last important adjuvant which came to us now and which is in the market and is quite popular is coenzyme Q10. So coenzyme Q10 is a fat-soluble coenzyme. It is found in the inner mitochondrial membrane, and it is known to play a crucial role in production of cellular energy. So how does this CoQ10 act on? So it actually helps in production of cellular ATP. It also reduces the ROS production, and thirdly, it provides stability of the plasma membrane by maintaining their flexibility. So many studies have come up to tell us that a suboptimal level of CoQ10 in the body will cause decrease in the oocyte quality and cause infertility. And once the study came, we also did another study on CoQ10, and our studies did say that administration of CoQ10 significantly increases the number of ovulated cycles. So it does help to improve the ovarian response and mitochondrial function. And where does this CoQ actually act on? We know that it acts on the electron transport chain, and if there is deficiency in CoQ10, there is increased ROS. So that is CoQ10 is important, and we understand that it leads to improvement of oocyte, ovarian reserve, and embryo quality, and subsequently a healthy pregnancy. So it definitely help us in improve our oocyte quality, and it is come into one of the important nutritional antioxidants which it also a lot mouse studies have been done on coenzyme Q, and it does tell us that it also helps in decreasing the aneuploidies which happen. So maybe in women with history of aneuploidies will also help. The second study which they did was on decreased ovarian response was the use of coenzyme Q10 with DHEA, and this combination significantly increased the AHC and improved the responsiveness during IUI and IVF. A lot of studies did say, including the fertility study which was recent in July 2020, did say that coenzyme Q10 supplementation of human oocyte in vitro maturation reduces the aneuploidies, and it will also improve the oocyte maturation rate. So many studies supported this, and another study which came into being for Q10 was that it also did help us in cases of polycystic ovarian syndrome. So especially in insulin resistance, as we know that insulin resistance is one of the main main concerns in these patients, the CoQ10 supplementation actually helps in improving the insulin resistance. And this is a proximal driver of mitochondrial oxidants and insulin resistance. CoQ, and therefore it may help in treating insulin resistance in PCO cases also. So even if you're not doing IVF or XC cycles, even in normal PCO cases, CoQ10 supplementation may prove beneficial, especially in improving her fasting blood sugar and insulin levels. And this has all been supported by clinical evidence. The next important study which came was that they did a study with a combination of CoQ10 with clomiphene citrate, especially in clomiphene citrate resistant PCOS. As Dr. Shelley was discussing, that CC resistant cases, sometimes with CC resistant cases, if you want to still use clomiphene, then you might like to give her a CoQ10 supplementation, and this might help in improving ovulation. So these were few studies which did justify the usage of CoQ10 in normal ART cycles. And something which I would like to now leave you upon with is that give you some new insights on what's actually happening in the embryology aspect of rejuvenating the ovaries. So a lot of new things have been now come up in the embryology aspect. Important thing is which is coming up. There is cytoplasmic transfer, pro-nuclear transfer, and maternal spindle transfer. So many new things are happening all around. And this was one thing which happened was that they transplanted human menstrual blood stem cells to treat POF in mouse models. And maybe this will actually give hope of horizon to all premature ovarian insufficiency patients in this. So where does this pool of drugs actually come upon? So maybe around 15-20% from any one of the adjuvants used, and the choosing an adjuvant depends all on you and the economical factor also, and how much time does the patient have in going for a treatment. Because if you're choosing DHEA, you will need 3 months. If you're choosing androgel, you will need 3 weeks. If you're choosing growth hormone, you can start from day 2. So according to that, you would like to choose your adjuvants. So in my last slide, I would like to say that in any ART cycle, your first IVF cycle will still remain the most informative test on how your woman will respond to an ovarian stimulation. DHEA, testosterone, growth hormone may have shown promising results, but all these studies were small in number, so we would like to have larger studies before we can actually promote these drugs. CoQ10 supplementation, yes, will definitely help in women with older age group, and we really need to individualize the use according to your patient characteristics. So thank you.